The gold medal today will go to a Brazilian team, but which Brazilian team will stand on top of that podium? Will it be Za'Marco, the veteran, crafty shot maker with the tricky serves, along with his tall young partner, Ricardo? He's teaching the kid how to play at this top level, and Ricardo is huge at the net. He'll get half a dozen blocks a game, and he'll get pumped up about it. Za'Marco digging behind him, making perfect putaways. These two, a pretty good bet for a gold medal in Toronto. But if you're betting, how do you bet between two Brazilian teams? And how do you bet against Jose Loiola, a former king of the beach? He may be the top player in the world. And his partner, Emanual, steady and often spectacular. Loiola, spectacular, often erratic. Emanual used to be partners with Za'Marco. Today, they're opponents across the net from one another. Friendly opponents, but battling for the gold medal in Toronto. And the men's gold medal match here at Ashbridges Bay. The FIVB Labatt Blue Toronto Open winding to a conclusion. And Loiola Emanual against Ricardo and Za'Marco. Now Ricardo, the big guy, the young guy, goes to the jump serve. Did he catch the line? Yes, he did. Tickled the line on the right side for the first point of the men's gold medal match.
And that's a really flat serve, hardly any topspin on it. Looked like it was going out, just drilled the corner of the line.
There's a jump server right at Loiola. They're going after Loiola. Well, he hits over and around that block. Very few people get the elevation Jose Loiola do. Jose Loiola now makes his home in Manhattan Beach. Didn't get to play in the '96 Olympics and was the best player in the world, but that was back when there was feuding going on between the FIVB and the American Tour, the AVP. Loiola and his partner were playing for lots and lots of money on the AVP Tour and were denied entry by the Brazilian Federation and by the FIVB into the Olympics. Good block there by Ricardo, and gets it up. And now another chance to block. Loiola will swing. There's a big block, and there is a huge, huge point for Brazil's team of Za'Marco and Ricardo. Double blocking.
Two super plays from Ricardo. The first one, he gets the block, but he's very alert. He's looking up, and he goes and gets the ball, and he gives an offensive action to his teammate. The second, he's taking that cross court. You see he reaches up and then cuts off the cross court angle. Nice blocking.
Now Za'Marco to serve from his bag of tricks. Got all kinds of things. That one, though, not enough tricks to clear the net. Ticks the tape. Of course, that FIVB and AVP split is now resolved, and everybody can play in the Olympics. So Jose Loiola has a chance to play in the Olympics for his native country this time. It's
definitely resolving, but you know, the Americans used to dominate this sport, but now, boy, there's any one of about 5 or 6 countries that could win tournaments.
Oh, great block there by Loiola, and Ricardo, big as he is, decides not to swing and tries to roll shot, and Loiola all over that.
Oh, that's a slam block. Watch Loiola. He's going to see this, and he's going to actually push that ball back. Strong wrists, little reaction digs, but not enough to get it over.
2-1 for the green team. And still, they're picking on Ricardo. See if he'll make some mistakes. Bangs it off the block of Loiola. Chance for the yellow team to even it up. No. Rolled into the lap of Za'Marco. What'll he do with it? Beautiful roll shot there, nicely dug. And now Emanual goes to the left-handed swing, and that's dug as well. So some good ball movement here, and a little rally is ended in a hurry by the right arm of Ricardo.
Well, we talked about the superb ball control of the Brazilian team, able to absorb hard hit balls, able to take spin off the ball, really soft on the handsets, and the result is side out.
2-1 for the green team. That is Ricardo, the 24-year-old kid, just came aboard last year, and Za'Marco, the veteran. He played with Emanual across the net for a lot of years in the 90s and won a lot of money in a lot of tournaments. And there's a big slam at the net by Ricardo. You'll see that now and then. Boy. Emanual shut right down.
That is a massive block at that net. I tell you, those arms go on for days. He's reaching for daylight. Look at that, cutting off all cross-court angles.
3-1 on the big block point. And that serve is long. It'll be a side out.
Not happy with that after you make a great play. Then you go back, put a ball out the back end.
Emanual, the attacker, does a good job there. Now Ricardo, partially touched by Loiola, who really gets great height. He snaps it over. Ricardo puts it up, but not close enough. That's going to make it 3-2 as Loiola and Emanual score there.
Beautiful example of how the block counts as a touch, and then you've got to get the ball up to your partner. Watch, the ball's going to touch the block. See, there's one. Now it's got to go up for the offense, make an offensive action out of it, and that's how you score transition points.
So the team in yellow has 2 now. It is 3-2 at the side change. Brazil against Brazil.
Next week on The Big Spike, it's too hot out, so we make a pit stop indoors. Canada's national team take on the boys from Spain. FIVB World League action from Winnipeg. That's all next week, right here on The Big Spike.
Still haven't seen any points scored off. Oh, there's a great block by Emanual. We're going to say haven't seen any points scored off Jose Loiola's serve, but if his partner's going to do blocking like that, maybe he doesn't need to. 3-3 tie. 4-3, Emanual and Loiola lead. Jose Loiola bangs it off the block, and did that one go in? It did. What a great play. A touch on the block, and then Za'Marco forces it into the backcourt.
Now, I think Loiola is arguing that that should have been a double contact, but that's a beach dig. That's really allowed on the first contact off a hard-driven ball. So you couldn't do that on a serve receive, but on defense, you can do that.
Almost an axe handle anyway. 4-4.
Just about.
That one ticked the top of the net. Served by Za'Marco. Side out. So 4-4 is these 2 strong Brazilian teams. And yet these guys are Brazil 2 and 3 because Para and Guilherme are the world champions right now, and they're Brazil 1. They didn't even make the final 4. Testimony again to the parity in FIVB volleyball, and testimony right there to Jose Loiola's jumping ability on the block.
Jose Loiola very stable on that block. Watch him. He takes a big jump. It's very, very low in the ground, all through the quads and the hams, calves pushing up.
They take a 5-4 lead back now. Loiola and Emanual. Can they get another block here? Nope. A dig though. As Loiola lunges to get that ball, and Emanual tries to kick it back over Pele style. Wouldn't that be appropriate? Pele, the Brazilian soccer god.
And that, of course, would be perfectly legal.
Ricardo's ready. Trailing 5-4. A little confusion on who was going to pass. And Loiola is dug by Za'Marco. And they turn it into a point. Yes, they can. Great accuracy by Za'Marco. That ties things up at 5-5 in the gold medal match. International Tour stop. Beach volleyball. It's the FIVB World Tour, and this is the Toronto Open. 2nd straight year it's been held here. What a huge success once again. World-class beach volleyball. Bit of an upset in the women's side, and now on the men's side, it's Brazil against Brazil. See who claims the $30,000 US first prize. Nice one-arm dig by Za'Marco in the backcourt. Emanual will try his luck, and it's dug by Za'Marco again, but you can't give Emanual and Loiola 3 cracks at it.
No, but boy, that's just terrific defense. First on the one-arm dig, and that's just strictly reaction. You cannot move your feet fast enough. You have to be in the right position. And look at that pursuit, never giving up. Then you take this man, Loiola. He just pummels that ball.
So side out for Loiola and Emanual. Emanual serve, trailing 8-7. For a change, they go to Za'Marco. And his roll shot is dug up by Emanual, his old partner, and Brazilians get it over, but Loiola a little slow to get back. Oh, one-arm dig by Jose, and now a chance to score. Did he bang that off the block? No, I think he just hit it out.
Yeah, that's a shame because he overhit that ball. It was a little bit tight to the net, but talk about spectacular defense. That pursuit was all the way from the referee's antenna, about 8 meters to the opposite side of the court. And then he just blows it out of bounds. Too bad.
Yeah, he was over behind the referee's chair for sure. Cross-court pursuit by Loiola. Still 8-7 though. Emanual with a blast, but it's dug by Za'Marco in the backcourt. A great little defender back there.
Well, again, Za'Marco's in the right position. They've really studied the book on each other. I mean, they know each other. Even in warm-up, they were setting each other and chatting. So they know each other's tendencies. It's a question of who's going to be the weakest.
Tough serve there by Loiola, but it's recovered nicely. Oh, and Doug on this side, and Emanual with a chance to score, and he does. Boy, some great lunging defense by the Team Yellow, and they've had it up 8-all. 8-all. The boys from Brazil battling it out, center court. Gold medal on the line. $45,000 Canadian, 30,000 US to the winners. Clubbed down right there by Ricardo, the youngster from Salvador, Brazil.
But Emanual makes a really good diving effort to get that ball up and over the net. But boy, look at that. If you give free balls to Ricardo, just no chance.
That one hit out. Point for the green team.
Nice save from Loiola. He's moving back in the court, makes the bump set, gives Emanual an opportunity, but Emanuel's just a little bit long. He knows he's got to hit it hard. He can't give a free ball, but he just hits it out.
Still a full house here, Ashbridges Bay. Why not? A chance to see Jose Loiola.
More hits on Loiola Emanual, and point.
No touch on the block. They can't get into the top of the tape. Loiola disagrees, but to no avail. And this gold medal match is at 10-8 for the team in green. Za'Marco and Ricardo. And Ricardo serves that one long. He's kind of a flaky, funky kind of guy, Jose Loiola. Likes to play in that headband. And sort of skills, he is terrific, but they say that he can get taken off his game at times, as we saw last year in the final here in Toronto.
Yeah, he starts to make a lot of errors. Certainly so far today, we haven't seen any indication of that whatsoever. But
off his game there, he served into the net, and then he let that one fall in right beside him, thinking it was out.
I think I jinxed him there, Brendan.
Now you can just see his attention wandering or something. Anyway, 11-8 for the guys in green. Now a bad pass by Loiola. And the hit is dug up. And Za'Marco drills it down right into the arms of Emanual, his old partner. He couldn't pop it up. Make it 12-8. Side change at center court. Ricardo and Za'Marco looking like they're in control. Well, the fans must be happy with this performance by the Brazilians, because there's been some very entertaining volleyball, and Jose Loiola, always very exciting to see the best player in the world, or the man called the best player in the world, the former king of the beach. But the former king of the beach, Charles, just made 3 errors, and his team's in trouble right now.
Well, that's a tendency that he does have. His mind does tend to wander, particularly if he makes one mistake. He has a tendency to make a couple more.
There's another one as he rolls that into the lap of Za'Marco. And there's another point, make it 13-8. And is Loiola giving up here?
Well, it wasn't a great set that time from Emanual. He has a tendency to push more with one arm. So Loiola was unable to make a really good attack. Of course, you give Ricardo and Za'Marco an opportunity, they're going to finish.
Loiola passes that floater okay. Bangs it off the block, and yes, Ricardo and Za'Marco have it up. What a great dig by Za'Marco, and that results in point number 14.
Wow, how good is that? I mean, that is just unbelievable. That's incredible pursuit.
A lot of people surprised. If Loiola can do anything here, that was pounded off the block and out, so a side out for the Loiola Emanual team.
Good attack from Loiola off the top of the block, and so far I'm batting 1,000, because I thought in the women's final that Shelda and Adriana would be invincible, and here I thought Loiola and Emanual were.
Little trouble on that pass. No sloppy set. Ricardo's called for the lift.
Yeah, that's definitely a handset violation. He's taking that ball with his shoulders almost parallel to the net. Generally speaking, you need to have them perpendicular to the net. And it did look like a carried ball to me. He was certainly running in one direction. Now we'll see if we can see this on the replay. See him going away from the play. It's a judgment call, but I think it was the right call from the referee.
Well, these guys did have a couple of wins last year. 1998, they won at Rio and at Marseille. They had a second in Belgium. Well, problem on that pass by Ricardo, so Za'Marco has to go over on the second one. Now Loyola swinging for point. Dug, though, by Za'Marco, and Ricardo can't help him out. So a point for Loiola Emanual, make it 14-10.
Boy, that's great offense and great defense on both sides of the net. Look at that dig into the top of the net. Boy, that just about was a sniveler over the top of the net.
Back to the action. Loyola to serve, down 14-10. Ricardo with a beautiful poke shot, just a roll over the block of Emanual.
No, we haven't seen that very much at all in this match. It's been all power.
Yeah, he's been swinging away. Well, let's see what happens here now. Once again, they have an opportunity to claim a gold medal if they can serve it up, get a block or a dig here, and they go to Loyola. There's the dig they need. Now, can they close it out? Yes, they do. It's down at the back line. Za'Marco and Ricardo, the veteran and the youngster, win it by a score of 15-10. A gold medal for them. Disappointment once again for Jose Loiola and Emanual in Toronto.